Hello friends, welcome back to Learn with Musa. We have been discussing about REST API and this is the second tutorial in the series called Everything About REST APIs. In the last tutorial, we understood about REST API endpoints. If you haven't watched that video yet, please do so. The link is present in the description box or you can find at the top right corner of this video. So friends, we have learned that a request consists of four parts, and they are the endpoint, the method, the headers, and the request body. And you already have some idea about the endpoint now. Let's go through the rest of what makes up a request. First, the method. The method is nothing but the type of request you send to the server. It's the action that you want server to do for you. It can be either asking server to give back some resource or write a new resource, or it can be modifying an existing resource, or it can be even deleting a resource. So following are the basic 5 request methods. They are get, post, put, patch, and delete. These methods provide meaning for the request you are making. They are used to perform 4 possible actions: create, read, update, and delete. They are famously known as CRUD operations. There are a number of other verbs too, but they are utilized less frequently. We will try to understand these 5 most commonly used HTTP methods or verbs. First, let's check about get. This request is used to get a resource from a server. If you perform a get request, the server looks for the data you requested and sends it back to you. In other words, a get request performs a read operation. This is the default HTTP request method. Next, let's check about post request. This request method is used to create a new resource on a server. So friends, if you perform a post request, the server creates a new entry in the database and tells you whether the creation is successful or not. In other words, a post request performs a create operation. Next, let's check about put and patch type of request. These two request methods are used to update a resource on a server. If you perform a put or a patch request, the server updates an entry in the database and tells you whether the update is successful or not. In other words, a put or a patch request performs an update operation. The final one is the delete request method. This type of request is used to delete a resource from a server. If you perform a delete request, the server deletes an entry in the database and tells you whether the deletion is successful or not. In other words, a delete request performs simply a delete operation. The API documentation lets you know what request method to use for each request. For example, earlier in the last tutorial, to get weather information, I have been using get method and I have demoed about this particular OpenWeatherMap API endpoint. I'm sure you have seen that. So friends, if you are using a tool like curl to act like an API client, you can mention the type of request method by simply passing an option there. I'll anyway demo this later, mentioning a post request to submit some body content to the server. So friends, I hope you got some idea about different HTTP methods or webs. Now let's check about HTTP headers. So what do we mean by the headers? Headers are used to provide some information to both the client as well as the server. Hence, we can say that headers are not just present for requests. There will be response headers as well. It can be used for many purposes such as authentication and providing information about the body content. Request headers present the metadata associated with the request. HTTP headers are property value pairs and they are usually separated by a colon. Couple of examples I will show in the screen. So one of the famous header is content type, where you can supply what kind of a data, what's the type of data you're passing to the server, like whether it is JSON or XML or whether it is any kind of form data. So in request with methods such as post or put, the client tells the server what type of data or media is actually sent, say with the body. In response, usually the headers like the content type indicates the type of media type like text or HTML or JSON of the response sent to the client by the server. This will help the client in processing the response body correctly. We have so many such types of headers. To give you one more example, we have a header called accept character set. This is a header which is set with the request and tells the server about which character sets are acceptable by the client. You can send HTTP headers with curl through the -h tag or double-header option. So friends, these are some of the standard set of supported request header types. Some developers may also implement custom request headers with custom names. Such type of headers information can often seen in the API documentation. Okay friends, that's it in this tutorial. I have made another 12-minute demo tutorial for you guys to understand more about REST methods and headers. The link is given in the description box. Please watch that as well to get a good picture about the concepts here. So we understood different API or HTTP methods and about request headers. In the next tutorial, we will focus on request body part, which helps clients to send some content to the server databases. Till then, it's Musa signing off. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. Goodbye.